Hey there, it's me, Gazbot, and I'm gonna do a little sketcheroony. That's right, the Red Turbo Ranger from Power Rangers, aka the Red Car Ranger from Car Rangers? Yeah, from Super Sentai. Whatever, you get the idea. I'm gonna go for it now. Let me minimize my face. And just like that, I'm a little guy in the corner. As you can see, I've already pulled up some reference for the helmet, and I'm going to start a timer now and go. I am aiming for getting this done in about a half hour. If I can get it done in 15 minutes, that'd be even better, but we'll see. I've been doing a lot of, I've done a lot, previously, hi, welcome back. Previously, I've done a lot of 15-minute so-and-so head sketches or whatever, but recently I've been doing warm-up sketches that I've been taking about a half hour on, and a lot of people are like, how is that a warm-up sketch? And I oftentimes put in color or something like that, but um, yeah, I don't know. I guess when I say warm-up sketch, I don't mean like a little doodle sketch. I mean it's a bit. I'm having a hard time getting my thoughts together, folks. What I'm saying is, what I think of a warm-up sketch is drawing something that isn't something I would be drawing for my workday, which as of now is working on my comic, The Horror A4. It's something a little bit more fun, something to loosen me up, and something a little bit out of my comfort zone. Now, those of you that know me, follow my channel, are like, how are Power Rangers out of your comfort zone? Well, anytime I draw a helmet I've never drawn before, that's out of my comfort zone. And helmets in general, I find difficult to draw. I like drawing them, but they're very angular, they're very specific. You kind of have to get it right. It's not like if you're drawing a monster or even a lot of superheroes. You like if you're drawing Superman, you can kind of fudge what Superman looks like. You know what I mean? He's kind of a white guy with black hair, but beyond that, you could get away with a lot of variation and it still looks like Superman. But if you get the details on a helmet wrong, it's kind of like getting the lines on Mickey Mouse wrong. It's a lot more noticeable. And again, this is a helmet I've never drawn, so that's another challenge right there. Um, I chose Turbo Red because TJ, who was the second Turbo Red, is one of my favorite American Rangers. He took over from Tommy, who is, the perennial favorite of everybody, who I like too, but, he's kind of everybody's favorite. Um, and I've been watching all the Power Rangers seasons in order, and I just got up to the episode of Wild Force called Forever Red, where they bring back every previous Red Ranger, with the exception of Rocky, actually, which is a little sad. But TJ comes back as Turbo Red because Tommy comes back as Zeo Red, and anyway, that's Power Rangers lore, blah. So I was going to do somebody from that, and I had previously done a Selwyn Ward, who's the actor that plays TJ, as like a civilian headshot for his in space where he was blue, but I just wanted to do a helmet, and this is how I chose the helmet. And I've been doing these warm-up sketches, but I've also been doing prints from some of them if they came out good enough, if I go back and adjust them a bit. And I'm likely going to be doing Power Morphicon this year as an artist. So in addition to whatever other shows on my Etsy store and all that kind of stuff, it would behoove me to have as much Ranger artwork available as possible by next year. So I don't know that this will turn into a print, but that's another reason for choosing a Ranger in general. So I made this layer using a 35 point brush, and and it was at 75% opacity. I'm going to lower that to 50% opacity, lock that layer, and go in again because it's a little weird. The details are a little off, and I'm about 3 minutes in right now. So, like I said, I'm giving myself a half hour. If I can get it done sooner, more is the better. I'm gonna bring this up a little bit, and now I'm gonna switch to a 19, more of a harder point. Still 75% opacity, but now I'm using black, and I'm sort of doing. I don't know why I chose to do this. I have a lot of reference down, side, straight on, and this one's sort of up and to the right, which I guess is closest to this one right here. But I wasn't really looking at that carefully. So let me see which. I want to move that one. Okay, let me move that one over a little bit. Boop, and then I'll look a little bit more closely at this one. That's my arrow. The other thing is when I do these, it adds time to the overall because I stop to talk or make a little arrow like that. So I don't. The amount of time I actually spend on this video should be slightly less if I factor in the, stopping the timer and starting and all this kind of stuff. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. The more I look at this, the more off it is. So let me try to get he has the ear hole is sort of like a hubcap. This is a car themed season, so the whole helmet is car themed. And all the different Rangers have different helmets, whatever the season. Like if you look at them at a glance, they kind of all look the same, but they're always on theme, but variants. So they're like different cars or different animals or whatever. And I don't even know what specific car this is supposed to be because if I remember right, it's sort of a red race car is his Zord. I might be getting that wrong, but this looks more like I guess it's supposed to be a race car, but then like the lights up top here make me think of like a truck or a buggy, like, fog lights. So I don't know that the helmets usually correspond with the Zords, but honestly, I never looked that much into Turbo because I'm not a car guy, and that applies also to my toys and entertainment. Although I am like a Transformers fan, what cars they turned into never was really that big a deal to me. It was like, are they a cool robot? And similarly with Power Rangers, the seasons where they have cars of any kind, I'm like, yeah, those they have cars and trucks. Who cares? It's not like a dinosaur or a robot tiger or anything like that, then I'm just not that interested. Okay, so I was making a line here. I was going to connect the edge of the visor with the edge of the mouth hole, but if you look down here, that's not how it goes. Say it's actually in a lot more. So I'm gonna erase that line. Goot 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 goot. I'm actually not erasing. I'm undoing. Bap bap bap. See, different sound effect. So I'll go in a little bit. Oops, I left the lines on my reference. I don't know what I'm doing. Doesn't matter. Okay. See, this is what I'm talking about. Wasting time. Wasting time drawing a Ranger. Power Ranger Turbo, go. So I'll go in to about here, and then the chin does come up. He's got kind of a smaller mouth hole area, I don't know what you call it, than some of the other Rangers. And then I'll try to keep this center line. And he's at a bit of an angle, so you could kind of see the inside of the mouth hole cup. Mouth hole cup. I'm just changing all my vernacular here. I'm going to go back to my reference here. Uh, Turn that off. I want to make this picture bigger because it seems like the one that's most relevant to what I'm doing. Voots! And there, it's bigger. And then back to this. I'm still not happy with it. I feel like it's one of those ones. Normally, I try to get, the basics done in 2 passes, but I feel like I'm going to need a third pass because the first one was so off that I'm just doing correction on design here as opposed to, finishing touches or nice line work or anything like that. I'm just trying to make it look like the correct helmet. And this maybe should come down a little bit more. This is bigger. Where's my eraser? There it is. Again, a hubcap. And then, so like I said, like this is sort of the windshield, then his front area for looking through, his glasses, his gogglers. All right, the mouth is a little bit less than halfway down, a little bit more than halfway down, I should say, so I did that wrong. So maybe more like that. And on most Ranger helmets, the bottom lip is more prominent than the top lip on most. Some don't even have lips, so that's usually I would want to do like one of those, but this Ranger helmet looks like it doesn't have that as much as some of the others. So I'll put a little shadow in there, but keep it more or less straight. And a lot of them, including this one, have the divot above the upper lip below the nose. And now that I've done this, I'm going to bring this line down. It's almost like it's a second piece on top here. And I'm going to readjust. These go in a little bit. Womp womp. But then this is straight across. And once I do that, this looks like it's up too much. So since we're digital, I'm just going to grab this whole windshield, everything on the visor, and pull it down a little bit to there. Slide that over to the side that way a little bit because it's sort of on the edge of the helmet here, but there should be a little bit of space here between the ear hole thing. And then I'm going to make it a little bit taller. It's still not quite right. I'm moving it. I'm shaking it. Comes down. It's almost touching the mouth area. I'm going to apply that, but then I think what I need to do, I'm bringing this part in towards the mouth too much, I think. So once again, because we're digital, I'm just going to play with it. Why is this not selecting? Wow, it's being weird. All right, I did it. I selected a thing. All right, back up to transform. That looks better. I'll leave it tight on the other side because the perspective and all that jams. It looks like he has a little bit of an outline around the bottom of the mouth hole area here. All right, so then I actually did these wrong because I put them kind of on the bar, but there's a bar and then they're over the bar. So let me adjust that. So I'll make the bar across. There's an indent here and an indent here. So it almost looks like a bow tie, but then there's a bar across the top with two little fasteners, and then the headlight, fog light, lamp things here. And then between the edge of this and the bar is another headlamp, more like, the regular headlights on a car kind of. So I'll do that here and here. And then a line in and a line in. And it looks like there's another lines coming off of here. This middle line is not part of the design of the helmet. That was just to help me line everything up, which I didn't actually do a very good job of because the point down should line up there, but I guess I moved it, so that's what messed that up. And this looks really weird, but actually, if I just go ahead in for my own benefit and for your benefit, if I just color black in where the actual, glass visor part should be, it looks a little bit more accurate. Still not quite right. Let me check time here real quick. We are about 10 minutes in-ish, so I'm not gonna make that 15 minute, I can tell you that. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna transform this whole layer. I'm gonna squish it in a little bit and down a little bit. No, that's not right. Let me undo that. I'll just leave it as is. What I think I do need to do though is trim this, but I'll just use the eraser to do that. And then bring these out because this whole side is facing away from the camera, so it should be a little bit shorter. I'll do that. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. I don't know how much I shortened it. I probably should have shortened it a little bit more, but a little bit closer to accurate. And this part here looks weird, so let me adjust that too. There's sort of if you look over here, it sort of goes up and then down because the back of the helmet is higher up. But for some reason, I'm having difficulty achieving that shape exactly. It's like a specific kind of swoosh. Let me see. So the visor, the glass visor comes down to about here, and then there's this part that's more or less straight that then goes up into the hubcap. And then the hubcap, see the hubcap doesn't, I'm going to erase this whole area here and just see what I could do. Cool. All right. So I'm going to ignore the hubcap for now. Going to just put the back of the helmet in like so. Okay. And then it looks like the hubcap comes down really low. So it should go about here and about here. So I'll do that and that. Cross will help me get a halfway decent circle. If and when I actually ink this for real, I would, use the circle oval tool in Photoshop. But for now, I'll just sort of do the old school crossway. And there's a bunch of hubcap things. Okay, again, better. It's a constant improvement, but it's not by leaps and bounds, it's by inches. I mixed my metaphors there. It's not by miles, it's by bounders. What? There's something still just not right about this area. That comes up. Oops. Chin comes up. Mouth. Mouth is a little bit big. I could smallen that up a little. Smallen that mouth. When your mouth is feeling big, do your lip ups to smallen that mouth. Your body will thank you for it. All right. I don't want to turn that so there's an expression because it's not actually able to give expression. Oh, but I shorten it a little bit because he is kind of looking slightly to the right. I think this mouth hole might still be a bit large. I'm gonna take this whole, let me see, this whole area here, all of it. Bring all this down. 1, 2, 3. But then, wait, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Actually, I went to the side. But I'm gonna actually lengthen it as well because I think that's also part of the problem. It looks a little better, but it's again still not really right. I'll tighten that in. All right, I think I'm getting lost in the weeds here a little bit. Let me check time. We are at 15 minutes. We're at 15. No, 14. 14 or 15 minutes we're at. Okay, so let me stop working on the helmet for a minute. Go in and just put a little bit of body work. He's kind of most Sentai Ranger actor characters have sort of a white neck because there's like a white underhood that the actor wears to protect their hair, I guess, or whatever. So I'll do that, and then that leads into sort of the black turbo design, a thick black square around the neck, but then there's a little yellow accent as well, so I got to leave room for that. So it sort of goes like this. I'm sort of looking at the two examples I have, and I realize neither one is a fantastic example. It does look like there's a secondary line on the inside of this black area. So let me just put all that in, and then I would use the eraser to cut in like watts, bots, yots, and that actually would be the yellowish blue or yellowish orange, which then comes in here as another color. So it would be black, yellow, red, white, all in this short area. This is a little bit wide over here because, again, facing away from the camera. The stuff on the right should be a little bit narrower than the stuff on the left. Screen right, I mean. And then I'll just pretend that there's some collarbones, and his shoulder would go about here. That looks weird. Let me bring it down a little bit. I think I exaggerated the angle of the hanger-shaped collarbone area. I gotta keep it not so crazy. Okay, where are we? We are here on Earth, and welcome. I think his neck is a little long. He's looking like another Sentai character. It was like reminding me of Bioman as opposed to Turbo, but we'll do what we can about that. Okay, I'm gonna move that down. All right, I'm gonna take this back layer here and completely erase it. Unlock. Erase. I should probably save, huh? Save as Turbo. What? Oh, I opened up something weird here, didn't I? Okay. How do I close this? Save for web and device. I don't even know how I opened this window. And okay, escape. Let me close. Okay, that's see more wasted time. Save as. There we are. We'll bring this over here. You can't see the save window, but I promise you I am doing it. We're gonna call it Turbo 1. And bring this guy back up. Now we're gonna bring him down to 50%. And about 20, I don't know, 20 minutes. I keep losing track. I set a timer, but it's backwards, so I'm having to do reverse math, which I'm not going to do right now. So I just made my layers invisible by mistake. That's awesome. I'm wasting time messing with layers when the world needs its ranger. Okay, here we go. Gonna lock that layer. Now I'm gonna go full black. I'm gonna go, 19, 75%. And let's see if we could get this a little bit more locked down. I'm gonna bump it up to 25 for the outside, just to give it a thick helmety metal fiberglass look, whatever it's supposed to be. That's a bad line. Well, see, here's the thing. It's supposed to be a warm up, and I'm like trying to worry about ink lines, so I gotta get out of my own way here a little bit and just get it done and passable. And yet, here I am erasing lines. This is why I have trouble when I do exercises, either to, learn anatomy or to practice a new technique or whatever the thing is. I have such a hard time just practicing, just experimenting, and I get hung up on trying to make it look right and look good and presentable, which I think is a problem a lot of artists have. And it's exacerbated when I do something like this because I'm sharing, and it's like, well, everyone knows this is just a quick sketch, exercise, whatever, but I'm sharing it, so it can't be too crappy. It's got to be good, and so it's a weird thing where by sharing it, it encourages me to try harder and work more. But by sharing it, it also encourages me to not uh, you know, I worry more about the finished product than the spirit of what I'm trying to do, and my ego and my pride get in the way of just learning and exercising, techniques and trying to get better as an artist. But I always worry, like people that follow my channel, if I do a crummy drawing once in a while, I don't worry about it. Cause like, oh, well, they've seen other stuff I do and they know what I'm about. But I always worry that like, oh, some Power Rangers fan, this will be the first thing they ever watch me do, and they'll be like, oh, that was not that great. He's okay, I guess. He's good for an amateur or whatever. Like, which is stupid because A, who cares what people think, and B, if they really care, they could see other artwork I did, and whatever. But it's always in the back of my mind as a thing that I don't want someone to think like this is me saying look how good I am and this represents my level of skill and the kind of artwork I want everyone to artists. This helmet, I don't know why, but I keep having trouble with this helmet shape, and I need to stop messing with it. I'm gonna erase that line. I'm just erasing it. All right, let me just pause for a minute. See, that's the other thing. I'm like in a hurry, like, time. But let me pause and think. Looking at the line here, it's almost straight up and down. Like it has a curve to it, but where it starts and ends here to here is almost straight. So let me go ahead and bring this out a little bit and then make a straight line. And then I'll connect it with a curve and see if that makes me feel better. Yeah, that'll work, I guess. And then I'll erase that straight line. Goop. And then this one is more at an angle, but I've already kind of got that angle going. I just have it a little bit too steep, so I'll erase these. I'll swallow in anticipation. Okay, and then this does curve in more. And then I just got to connect the dots, which aren't dots. Whatever, you know what I mean. All right, that's better. That helmet shape overall just got a lot better. And then this actually I did okay with, so I'll just kind of fill that gober in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the outline of these, like the piping on the visor, and then the outline of the mouth hole, and then the outline of the main body, and then switch to a smaller brush size. So I'll let this be, this is kind of simulating inking thin and thick, but in a cheap, lazy way where it's more of an animation coloring book style as opposed to a real comic book style because I'm using a semi-deadline, and a deadline is when there's no variation of thickness. It's just, the same thickness all the way through, which it's not exactly a deadline, but it's closer to a deadline than it is to a good comic book inking line. Sometimes people ask, what do inkers do? A big part of what they do, I mean, there's a lot of things inkers do, but a big part of what they do is add variation of line weight and depth using yeah, just line weight, really. I mean, other things too, but what I'm talking about specifically, like these lines would not make an inker happy. This is like what you would give an inker. I had to pause for quite a second there. A second there. Somebody came in the room, but I stopped the timer and I stopped working, so we are still good. That is not lining up the way it's supposed to. So like this line right here should be lining up. What is wrong there? I'm gonna just move this whole thing in a little bit and down a little bit. I'm actually gonna narrow it too. There. Doop. I could tell right away that this is not something that when I got done, I'd be like, it's done. Like if I wanted to finish this and make a print of it, whatever, I'd have to go in and put a lot more work in to polish it and make it nice and keep making little adjustments like that. But again, I'm just trying to get it passable, as this character, as this helmet for right now in a short period of time. And I keep noticing like this piping should be thicker than this piping because it's closer to the camera, but these are the kind of details I shouldn't be focusing on when I only have a few minutes left, and yet I am. So I'm going to go ahead and outline the mouth shape next. I'm doing the inside line, which is where the transition of the fiberglass to the metal or whatever materials its inset is here. All right, so I'll leave the helmet with that line, and then I'll just go ahead and quick put in, yeah, I think that I put that shoulder up too high, so I'll move that down. Now, because this is black, I will use a thick line on it. And here as well. And let me see if I can fill that. Clock, clock, clock. Yep, I used the clock technique. Tick tock, you fill it. What? And this line as well. Turbo suits have a lot of black piping. I guess they're supposed to, I don't know if that's supposed to simulate like detailing on a car or panels or whatever, but it's kind of interesting. Do, 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 do. There's a shadow on his clop. Alright, so now I will go ahead and just for the delineation of that suit color. So everything inside this square will be white. Did that little part wrong. Should go over more. Once again, got to remember to keep that side thinner. Thinner. Clock that up. Clocking it up. Clocking it up. Tick-tock time with Gazbot. Alright. And then I'll put some black here. I'm actually going to color this. I should have filled it. I'm going to fill the next two. I'm going to fill it all in black, and then I'll put highlights. Oh, that's no good. That one? Yeah. There's something not connected here. Right there. Found it. Nope, still bad. Alright. We're going to have to do this the stupid way. Oh, I think I just found it. Last time? Yeah! Whoa, made everything else black. I don't like that. Nope. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Because I filled it in, and then I double filled it in. I'm a genius, everybody. Genius. I'm at 24 and a half minutes. So I'm going to do some back to 19, do some detail work, and then I'll probably have to really rush the color, which is how I do on these things. Usually when I do the 15-minute ones, I'm like, all right, we're at 15 minutes. Now I'm going to cheat and do, a few more minutes, blah, blah, blah. But with 30, I might be able to not cheat on the actual 30 time limit. I just will have a product that I'm less than thrilled with, but, still counts as done. Oh, do you hear that? Does Zordon need me? No, that's my 5-minute warning. So I will cancel, and I will reset to 5 minutes. So we're at 25 minutes exactly right now. There's the piping. Well, that's actually, I say it's piping, but it's more like a detailing on the red as opposed to the silver, which is a whole nother piece on top. That's another thing. I'm not doing a good job of delineating the different materials with my rendering, but that's something I could do in color and or upon further review if I had more time. That's something else that inking does, is helps delineate different materials through rendering. So there's something that's cloth and metal and stone all look like different materials instead of just the color carrying all the weight, which can work, but obviously it's a lot nicer if you clocking. We're doing really good with the words today. Probably wasn't the best day for me to decide to do this, but I haven't done one of these in a while. I haven't put up in a video in a while, and I figured I've got to do a warm-up sketch anyway. I might as well try to combine my forces. And what's the worst that can happen? It's not amazing. That's the worst. And then I'm an unhappy person for the rest of my life. No, I will get over it is what will happen. Also, the thought has crossed my mind, like, I could always not share it if I really hate this. Like, it doesn't cost me anything to record it. Add, a few more extra minutes to record it, and if I really hate it, you'll never hear me saying that. But as of now, I'll probably share it and just be like, it's not my favorite, but there. Ugh, those circles are terrible. Once again, I should be using a tool if I was going to do that. Oh, this is black up here too, but there's a little bit of red, so let me... Is this supposed to be like a sunroof? I don't know. I mean, it's also one of those things where it partially is a car design and partially just because it looks cool because it's a superhero helmet. So sometimes it's like, it's just a color because the color makes it pop, and sometimes it's, like I said, a sunroof. Let me fill that in, hopefully. Yes. Okay. And leave that. Right, I'm going to go in with, that was 19. I'm going to go in with 9 for just a couple super tiny details, like the outline around the hubcap. And then the outline around this, and put some lines on this piping. Again, I don't have time to do it properly, but hopefully just by putting in a little bit of extra detail, it'll give it the indication of chrome and or metal, or at least, at the very least, something different than the red material underneath it. And similarly, I'll put something here, and can kind of see the lips, so I'll sort of do this. Kind of see the chin. That's not right. Actually, I'm going to move this whole chin up. I think I have done a disservice to the amount of red chinniness that goes in there. That looks better. Now they're not matching up, so I'll move it left. And then I'll stretch it right a little bit, which is a cheat, but we're running out of time here. All right, let me erase that. Yeah, I'm not loving it. All right, I'm going to do one more adjustment, and then I'm going to go in with the color. And this adjustment is to make this whole thing, including the mouth, come in more this way. I think that helps. And then I'll connect these. And then I'll bring this in. One more adjustment that takes 15 maneuvers. All right, where are we at with time? A minute and a half. Perfect. Not perfect. Bloods. All right, I'm just going to try to throw some quick color. So obviously we need red. And that will, oh, it's 75%. I don't want 75%. I want 100. Give me full red power now. Choo 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 choo. We're chewing on things. Choo 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 choo. Choo 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 choo. Clocking. Choo 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 choo. Alright, you red scummer. And then yellow for this part. What? I can't. Oh, it's on eraser. I don't want it on eraser. Yellow does really help pop it. I can see why they did it. Pop it. Lock it. Pop it. Spin it. All right. Then we'll go to the metal. Sorry for my swallowing. I should have got a glass of water, but I didn't. So now you hear me guzzling my own gargles. Gross. Guzzling your own gargles. A lot of different theme songs here. Clocking. Oh, my bot. Okay, well, I guess I am going to cheat. So that's 30 minutes. That's where 30 minutes gets us. I'm going to give myself another 5 just to finish up a sloppy color job. Sloppy color job. My name is Zach Framerton. I'm here to do the sloppy color job. Oh, good. You could sit over there next to Penelope Bobo. She does a floppy, slappy ink man. And over next to her is Benson Cubbles, and he did the pencil jerks. And it was all written by Zumi Fana. Zumi Fana, who does the quick word jerks. Yeah, they both are in the jerk school of family. The jerk school of family. Maybe I should have had more coffee. I didn't even have a full cup. I had most of a cup. I think I'll have a soda. How's that? Is that exciting? Is that exciting for you? Have a soda? A little white there because that's supposed to be headlights. And then the neck is supposed to be white, but it is already white because of the background, so I'm going to color it blue. Because I can change whatever I want. No, because, well, I can change whatever I want, but that's what I'm doing. Color it blue so I can make sure that the area is, in fact, pigmented. Click. And then I'll change it to white. Plop. So that now if I add a background of whatever, let's say green, it works. And now you can see in the visor, I have some red lines that stuck through, but I'm going to go ahead and make them white lines, which will actually help with the whole being a recessed piece of plexiglass, bulletproof glass, plastic, whatever it's supposed to be. And then I'll put a little bit of white, ride the bite for shine, 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 shine. Oh, these are also supposed to be white or gray or whatever. I'll make them white because I don't care. I'm breaking the rules. The screen is terrible. Down 75%. Alright, so I'm almost, well, yeah, this is disappointing rush mess, but I will go ahead and put some shadow and then a little bit of texture in the background just so that this isn't complete garbage. So we'll pretend that there is a light source behind him. And so we'll put a lot of shadow here. Like this. And then I will go in and erase a little bit. Like that. Because again, it's a mechanical thing and different planes are going to catch the light differently, etc., etc., and it just looks gooder. Looks gooder, everybody. Well done. All right, and then I will flip, and I'll still have the red highlighted, and now I'm going to put in some highlights. What? Look at that. Suddenly, it's getting text. Now, this is, again, what I was saying, something that the inker could do. Actually, I'm not going to put it on my shoulder because I want it to stay on the helmet so it looks more metallic-y, plasticky, glossy, whatever you want to call it. I'll put some of them in. Persimmons. Go a little bit there, a little bit where, a little bit all over your face and hair. Because I'm a barber. I'm a barber. Nope, I'm not a barber. I'm not a barber. Alright, that does. I'll put a little highlight because it looks a little weird if I don't. Okay, and I'll erase some of this. Alright, that's it for red. Now I'll quick go ahead and grab this black. Not that black. This black. And also, wait, what? Oh, because it's color. And, no! I'm not sure what I'm doing. Alright. Need highlights on the black is what I'm doing. So, here we go. I did that exactly wrong. Select inverse. Yo. No. Actually, that could work because I do need some shadow on this, so whatever. I did that by accident, but now it's purposeful. Well done, everybody. And me. Welcome to my flop. I probably should have had an idea of like a topic to talk about or something when I did this one, but I didn't. I just sat down and said, I'm going for it. And that's why you get this mouth diarrhea. So enjoy. All right, that's, you know what? I'm going to bring this whole thing down 75%. And then I'm going to put a white in and a little bit of gold guides. That's too bright, but I will go ahead and zobe it down. Oops. Need some shadow on that white. I will use the same gray that I used for the metal to consistify it. And there's my 5 minutes. I'm doing terrible with this time limit thing. Time limit. All right, put a little bit of shadow there. And I'm going to take the shadows down to 75%. Wait, what? Yes, 75%. What did I miss? A lot of things. Some more shadow on this part. And then some highlight as well. Like that? Nobody likes that. Right, I do need to put some highlights on here to make it actually look like a shiny visor for life. And also I'll do some up here, which I'm not sure if that is shiny, but it is now. Oh yeah, it looks shiny in the reference, so I'm okay. I'm okay, everybody. Don't worry about me. I'm okay. It's gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. We're all gonna be okay. All right, I should mess with that more, but I won't. What I will do is put something in this background because it's just horrible. And I'm gonna just grab a texture brush. Here, this one. Whatever. And then switch the color a little bit. Bring the opacity down to 50%. Same texture. I'm gonna take that whole thing, bring it down 50%. And I'm not loving it, so I'm gonna put a really light color with a different texture. Keep it at 50%, and then kind of put a highlight behind our hero, TJ. Ba 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 ba. I got a love boat. Let me see that full size. All right, I don't love it, but we're gonna call it done, and it's been like 38 minutes or something like that. So, Dunzo, ha 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 ha. Let's make my face the big. Hey, my face is the big. Well, that took longer than I thought and came out less good than I'd like, but such is the nature of things. Wanted to put up some live drawing of the kind of warm-ups I've been doing and just chat with the peoples because I haven't been chatting with the peoples for a while. So I do have more videos in the works, but I've been really cranking hard to get the horror done, and I've been making really good progress. You can follow me on Instagram or my Facebook page or anywhere else where I have updates just about every day with art and things. And if you have any questions, leave them below. Otherwise, I hope you're having a good day, and may the power protect you.